right, so the government is pretty much going scorched earth on the platform TikTok. And TikTok has millions of followers across the US. I personally only use TikTok to promote another one of my YouTube platforms, which is it's a kind of like a murder mystery type of channel, or a true crime channel rather. That's a little bit more accurate. And so I use TikTok to promote that one. And I'm not gonna lie, over on TikTok, I quickly gained thousands upon thousands of followers. Like, I'm still gaining followers over there by the dozens every week, right? And so it's a great platform if you want to promote something, if you want to just these quick little sound bites or quick little, videos to promote content or do what you want to do within that 30 to 60 minute window or 90-minute window. Of course, you can post longer videos over there. I have long form content. I produce long form content over there. But if I'm being honest, TikTok is one of the most controversial sites out of all the platforms, right? Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Even if you go over to lesser known platforms, right? TikTok is one of the platforms that does not pay the creator what they're worth. And you can argue that. I'm pretty sure you could grab any creator and they will tell you the same thing about any of the other platforms. But out of all of those, okay, TikTok is the place that you're not really going to make any money unless you have brand deals associated or connected to your page and content, right? Like Keith Lees, like some of these TikTok content creators that have millions of followers. Well, they're able to really make money off of the additional brand deals that come with that. You'll see them in the videos, the True Fruits and the Ollipops and that's where the money comes in, right? You're not getting money from TikTok. TikTok is not paying them what they're worth for bringing in millions of views. I promise you that. I have videos over there that have millions of views, and they're not paying me what my content is worth, what my content is bringing. If I have the same number on this channel that I had over on TikTok, I would be very well paid here on YouTube. And we'll get there. But that's not my point. My point is TikTok is known for not paying its creators. They're known for giving their creators the middle finger. Now, granted, you can say, oh, well, you don't have to produce movies. You don't have to produce videos on TikTok. That's just something that was provided for you as an extra. Or, nobody told you had to produce content over there. That's true. However, if you're going to leverage the content creators' videos and their content to bring you advertising dollars, then I think that you should properly compensate those creators. And that is not happening over on TikTok, and it hasn't been happening for quite some time. And right now, well, the legislators are going scorched earth on TikTok. And I really want to say that this started with the music industry. And I got pulled up an article here because I remember that they were talking about this for quite some time. And this is really where I believe all of this started. It started with the music industry, and then it just continued to spread like wildfire because legislators and people in Congress started to notice. People started to take notice around the world. Well, all right, we're giving you access to all of our people, all of our data. You have access to all of the data over here through the creators, right? People got to fill in. People got to fill in where they live. They got to fill in what they do. You're getting all of this access basically to content creators, right? And you're giving up nothing for it, little to nothing for it. And the same thing was happening with the music industry. I'm going to read a couple of articles here very shortly, but I just want to say that I think TikTok is an app for the boomer or the Zoomers, right? The Generation Z, all right? Generation Z is the generation that loves TikTok. Granted, there's some older ones on there. There's my generation on there, of course. But it's really an app, and it's really a social media platform for very short form pieces of content that you can consume and keep moving. That's where TikTok gained its popularity. Because people have short attention spans typically, and this is not a shot at anybody, it's just the truth. Because our attention spans these days are so short, because we have so little time and so little patience with everything, we want to consume information like that, and we just want to consume information and move on, right? We're not really interested in watching long-form content, watching long-form videos. Of course, you have people that do, but they're in the minority, okay? The majority of people, and this is factual data that I'm speaking on. The majority of people would rather have short form content that they can consume and then move on to the next video. That's literally what TikTok is. At one point, TikTok didn't even have an option to produce long form videos. That's how we know that what I'm saying is facts, not fiction, right? So they eventually expanded the platform, and what's happening now is that the creators aren't getting paid. And it wasn't a problem until the music industry started not getting paid. And then they were like, oh, wait, wait a minute now. Y'all going too far. Because when you start affecting the pockets of these music industries and the people that are really in control of the money, and the people that are really in control of the media, and people that are really in control of the big dollars and money and making big money moves and having money flow around this country, now you're infringing upon the territory that you were not ready for, and you don't understand how it's going to work over here. So let me get into this platform. Let me get into this article. I'm just going to read a little bit of it because I want to give you guys an idea of where this all started. So this was an article. Let me see here. It says the music industry's over-reliance on TikTok shows how lazy it has become. And this was an article that was written this was the 1st of March, okay? So it says, earlier this month, the music industry was hit with its biggest shakeup in years when Universal Music Group, UMG, announced that it would be pulling the entirety of its catalog, which covers everyone from K-pop stars, BTS, to Taylor Swift, and legacy acts such as BYEBYE from TikTok. In an open letter, UMG said that the decision was made in protest at the platform's low compensation rates, lack of protections around AI deepfakes, and low safety standards for TikTok users. Universal also alleged that TikTok tried to intimidate the label by selectively removing the music of our developing artists while keeping on the platform our audience-driving global stars. TikTok's brief response decried UMG's false narrative and rhetoric. The move wasn't a bluff. Less than a day after the announcement, music by Universal artists began to leave the platform. Earlier this week, music written by artists signed to Universal's publishing arm also began to disappear. This means that any music that samples or is co-written by a Universal public artist, whether they have 1% share in the songwriting or 100%, can no longer be used as a sound on TikTok. This includes TikTok-aided hits such as Harry Styles, As It Was, and SZA's Kill Bill, as well as soon-to-be-released songs currently being promoted. Some analysts have estimated that the publishing takedown could result in an up to 80% of music on the platform being removed, which TikTok disputes, saying it estimates 20 to 30% will be affected. Of course, they are basically trying to downplay it, saying like you're not hitting our pockets as much as you think you are. UMG's mass takedown is drastic, but there was always going to be a breaking point with TikTok. When the app began to gain popularity in 2018, industry figures almost immediately treated it like a golden goose. Thrilled by the way, unsigned, previously unknown artists such as Lil Nas X and Josh 685 were suddenly serious players on the Billboard charts without much, if any, promotion outside TikTok itself. When Fleetwood Mac's Dream went viral on the platform in 2020, it became clear that the app was remolding the way consumers listen to music. Old music could easily become new again, provided it had the right treatment. And we've seen that with a lot of the big artists. Songs that were once a hit before have, again, like this article says, have resurfaced due to whether it's through a TikTok dance or this through some type of TikTok challenge or whatever like that. A lot of these streams from the music artists started to pick back up, right? And so what we have here, I'm going to read this next piece before I continue. Songs that were big on TikTok started streaming in the hundreds of millions, even billions in a single year, sending considerable revenue to artists and labels. It's been a boon for live music too. In 2018, U.S. indie rock artist Mitski played to 2,000 people in London. This year, a handful of TikTok viral songs later, she will play to more than 20,000. But TikTok soon started to feel like a burden for artists. For years, acts such as Halsey and Florence, Welch, have complained about label expectations that they should use the platform to promote upcoming music. Other artists have suggested that labels are prone to holding songs hostage until they have enough TikTok buzz. And artists such as Noah Khan, who has benefited from TikTok over the past year, seem acutely aware of the perceived reliance on it. Khan reacted to UMG's call with a wry video in which he joked about being a TikTok artist. And that is what is happening across the landscape. And that is how it's affected the music industry, right? TikTok has had a massive impact on music. It's undeniable. It's undeniable. And so what happens is when the labels start to take notice and say, all right, well, people are getting hot over here and they're unknown. Unsigned artists are getting off over here. They're getting their music hot over here. And once the label realizes that, they're like, oh, no. We're not pushing your music through Instagram and none of that stuff anymore. Now we're gonna hit TikTok first. We need you to produce something that's gonna make people go and dance to it. We need you to produce something that's gonna make people grab that record, put it on their TikTok into their TikTok video so that we can monetize it before it's hot even before it hits the press, basically. Right? And TikTok started to fight back. And what happened was there was a breakdown between the two, right? And it always comes back down to the money. Critics say that TikTok encourages artists to create a certain kind of music that's seemingly designed to go viral, which, again, this is taken away from the creativity of music artists. Often, the ploy works evidenced by the proliferation of hits that utilize bold, easily recognizable samples from the 90s and 2000s. It's also hugely debatable as to whether TikTok virality can translate into lasting success. U.S. artist Steve Lacy made headlines in 2022 after complaining that fans at his shows were only there to film a snippet of him playing his viral song Bad Habit. New Zealand artist BYEBYE, all right, I don't care about that. Over the past year, another problem has emerged, such as high volume of songs go viral on TikTok every day that fewer and fewer of those viral songs make an impact outside of the app. Last year, most of the viral songs on the platform that found real-world success were by established artists such as Doja Cat and Central C, both of whom, admittedly, initially found fame via the platform with only a few songs, such as South African singer Tyla's Water and K-pop band 50/50's Cupid, genuinely breaking through. I don't know if you all know who Tyler is, but you have to. The song was everywhere. I loved the song at first when it came out before it was made popular, and then I hated it. But that's the revolving door of music, especially when it gets played 1,000 times. So anyway, well, listen, what happened was they pulled their music, right? UMG pulled their music, and they said, all right, since you're not going to pay us you're not going to give us a bigger piece of that pie that you're getting cut from ad revenue, then we're just going to take our music and remove it entirely, right? And so, of course, TikTok had a problem with that because now, it's affecting the music. But they say it's only affecting 20-30%. Well, now, guess what? TikTok has reached the doorstep of the big boys. Now you're in the big leagues. Now you've gone political. Because now the House has voted against TikTok. And Biden is basically saying, listen, if y'all pass a bill to ban TikTok, I will sign it. So there we have a real possible threat of TikTok being no more. And before I get into what I think about it, I think we should get a little bit more context on the situation. Now, I want you to keep in mind that TikTok is owned by a foreign company, okay? Its parent company, ByteDance, is a Chinese owner, okay? And what is happening with this TikTok ban bill is that they are basically saying to Chinese-owned company ByteDance, if you do not divest, if you do not give up your rights and your ownership to TikTok, we will ban it in the States. That is what's happening. And before I show you the video and that we get into this, what's happening here, I want to show you all TikTok's response thus far. Hopefully you can see this on screen. I'm going to give it a minute to kind of focus here. But this is what's happening, okay? Hopefully you can see that. So when you open up TikTok, you're getting a message with TikTok basically asking their creators to basically fight back. Fight for your right. Fight for your right to create. Fight for your right to use our platform. And I find it funny because it's TikTok groveling to the creators now when you haven't been doing right by the creators. I'm one of them. Again, I said it before, I have millions of views on some of my videos on TikTok. And I have not been compensated or paid nearly as much as those views are worth. Okay, and this is long form content that we're talking about. We're not talking about 60-second or 90-second videos over there, right? So TikTok, they slime and slizzle their way, right, out of paying multiple creators hundreds to thousands to in some cases millions of dollars when you look at the broad scope of things, and they're getting away with it, right? Because TikTok is so viral amongst the young people and amongst the Gen Zers, it really is a platform that offers something that the others, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, do not, okay? Again, it's that reach, right? It's that ability to basically disperse information out quickly, right? So it's a give and take right now. It's a give and take relationship. But TikTok is definitely taking advantage of the content creator. And I find it funny that they're asking and they're begging now pretty much that the creators basically save their ass in this moment. Again, this bill is to ban TikTok, and the ban would take place 6 months from now. Live, they just voted on it, and they just passed the bill. Okay, the bill has been passed, it has been signed, and I think the final vote will take place maybe next Monday or next week sometime, maybe next Wednesday. But the bill has been passed. So the parent company, ByteDance, has 165 days, or basically 6 months, to sell TikTok to someone else and divest themselves completely from it, or it will be banned here in the States, affecting multiple creators' revenue streams, affecting people. You're talking about hundreds to thousands of creators who have made a living off of TikTok, and that will be affected by this. All right. So again, that just goes to show you the power that they have. They have the ability. That one message right there that I just showed you on my phone, that one message right there showcases their ability to basically reach out directly to the content creator to say, listen, we need you to stand against your own government. Can we be real? That is what's happening. And that is exactly the problems that the Senate has with this bill, with TikTok, with this company, ByteDance. That's the problem. This is what they're saying. Listen, they're saying, y'all got the ability to touch our people and basically turn them against us at a moment's notice. Because that's literally what they're asking. They're asking content creators to stand against your own government for us. That's what's happening. But I want to give you a closer look at what's going on, and we're going to go over it right now. Right now, live. Again, live. They just voted on this bill. It has been passed. So in 6 months, something's going to happen. Either they're going to divest themselves, or the U.S. is saying, y'all going to have to get the fuck out of here. But let's get into it.
Mr. Speaker, with an estimated 170 million Americans using TikTok every single month, the app is dominating the social media landscape, and every single one of these users, including American children, agreed to the terms and conditions of the app, allowing TikTok to access all of their personal data on the user's phone. This is a significant national security risk, as TikTok's parent company ByteDance is owned by the Chinese Communist Party, meaning TikTok is essentially operating communist Chinese malware. With every dance challenge and lip sync video, American users are unknowingly contributing to a vast surveillance apparatus, and the potential for abuse of this data is chilling, ranging from targeted advertising to espionage to intelligence gathering. Additionally, TikTok's pervasive influence among young Americans makes it an ideal tool for the CCP to propagate its narratives, shape perceptives, and advance its geopolitical agenda. In light of these alarming realities, decisive action is warranted to mitigate the risks TikTok poses to its current form, and that's why I'm urging my colleagues to join me in supporting H.R. 7521 to force TikTok to break up with the CCP. It's time to wake up and see the real national security risk at hand. And I yield back, Mr. Speaker.
And there you have it. I got another video here that we're going to check out as well, because I wanted to know how likely is it, or how possible is it that a ban would take place and how it works. And I think this little video helps explain a little bit more of how it's possible and how they're going to do it. But TikTok is definitely on the fringe right now. Again, this will affect multiple creators across the board. Multiple creators who rely on TikTok for their revenue, even though, again, they do not pay that well. Well, they're not getting money through TikTok. TikTok is not paying the creator what they're worth. People are finding other ways to monetize their content and their brands by making deals with other companies that are leveraging the TikTok platform. That is how people are getting to the bag. That is how people are getting to the money. That was my plan of getting to the money once I hit 100,000 followers. I'm not gonna lie. I'm being upfront and honest with y'all. Once I hit 100,000 followers, that is when I was going to look into leveraging my platform on TikTok into other brand deals, because that is where I understand that is where the money is. The money is not on TikTok directly. You're not going to make a ton of money from videos on TikTok. All right? You're not. You're going to make a lot of money through the brand deals that you leverage through your views and your platform on TikTok. But I want to get into this video and see if it's possible, if it's even possible, and how it's going to happen. So let's take a look, y'all.
We just heard from the former TikTok CEO. He's just like, I don't know how this is going to work. But I want to ask you, do you have some insight? Is a ban, is it actually possible? Is it possible to block TikTok from U.S. devices? And if it is possible, how would it work and how long would it take?
Sure. Yeah, it's definitely possible. Instead of going after TikTok itself, what the bill that's currently out there is doing, if it passes the House and the Senate, it's signed by the President, it's going to have about a 165-day or 180-day, depending on the bill, wind down period. Following that period of time, if there's any providers of the app and app store, if there are any providers who provide an internet service, such as AT&T, Verizon, that continues to provide a streaming service, those providers can be fined up to $5,000 per user if they continue to provide that service. So if you have a user base of 100 million people or 170 million people, if they continue that service, that's a $500 billion to $850 billion.
Now let me ask you, what company do you know of would take that hit? What CEO do you know of that would willingly take that hit for y'all? It's not gonna happen. I'm gonna tell you right now. If I was the CEO of one of these companies, okay, if I was the CEO of a Google, of Apple, and they came to me and said, listen, for every creator or for every user that you have that is able to download the TikTok app through your platform, you will be fined $5,000. I'm telling you right now that TikTok will be gone yesterday. No CEO is going to agree to keep TikTok on their platform. It's not going to happen. That's just business. Let's not forget, these companies, their final goal, their ultimate goal is to make money, not pay out money. This is a very, very, very real threat. Very, very real threat. The U.S. government is basically saying it's get down or lay down. It's get down or lay down. You either gonna cooperate or you can get the hell up out of here. It's bully ball time now. That's exactly what this is. It's bully ball time now. We make the decisions. Y'all do what we say. For all y'all to think that you believe that are so high on the patriotism and the freedom and democracy and freedom. Well, you're seeing how far your freedom goes right now. You're seeing how far your freedom goes in this country right now. You're only able to do what they tell you you can do. You're only able to do what they tell you can do. I tell you what, stop paying your mortgage today and see what's going to happen to your house. Stop paying your mortgage. Stop paying taxes on your house today. Your house paid off? Cool. Stop paying taxes on that house every year and see what happens. You're only allowed to do what they tell you you can do when they say that you can do it. Let's stop believing that we have all this freedom, that we got all this democracy over here. Shout out to Helldivers for my gamers. But let's stop believing that we have all this democracy over here and that everything is contingent upon what we decide. No. Your government is proving to you right now that they got the last say. It's bully ball time.
Pounding.
So it sounds like the ban would be more regulation as opposed to technically blocking the technology from coming into the U.S.
Correct. If you penalize the providers of it, that's where you create the ban. They just don't provide those services anymore to the public.
All right, so a lot of talk about TikTok right here on CNBC. Actually, yesterday, former President Donald Trump raising a lot of concerns about the ban, saying that it would only empower other platforms like a Facebook. What is your take on that? I mean, it was a very interesting take. Obviously, the president also, former president, also vocalized some personal, animus with Facebook and also its founder.
Yeah, look where President Trump goes with this issue or how he feels is, sort of his position, the position he took when CFIUS, the Committee on Foreign Investment, reviewed it during his presidency was to block it. And he issued an executive order to that effect. That executive order still stands, and now Congress seeks to take action. So it'll be an interesting play, especially when this bill, if it passes the House tomorrow, which apparently it's up for vote, it'll go to the Senate, and we'll see this really play out in terms of...
Well, it just passed. It just passed today. Okay, live. It just passed. They're still talking about it right now. As I sit here and record this video, they are talking about it. And it just passed. It's definitely going to Senate, which I believe that it will get passed again. And then in 6 months, we'll see what really the fallout is. But I find it interesting that Trump was against TikTok during his presidency. If you recall, okay, if you were around or if you paid attention to any of the headlines or you were involved in any type of way in what Trump was doing, he was against TikTok. And it just goes to show you how dirty politics is, right? Because now all of a sudden Trump is for TikTok. He's saying, oh, no, we don't want to ban it now. We want to keep it around. Now Trump is saying, oh, nah, that's all right. We can keep it. And of course, any blind fool can see what that does with a presidential election coming up, with the possibility of bringing in all these creators that have amassed finance and money and have found the bag through TikTok. Of course, that's going to sway their judgment of another fucking president, right? Of course, it's going to sway their judgment on Trump. You might have been against him. Well, now you might be turning around the way you thought about him, right? You might change the way that you vote on that ballot with Biden going against TikTok and Trump being for TikTok. Politics is a crazy, dirty game, man. It's a crazy, dirty game, and you're seeing it play out live before your very eyes. But I find it funny. I find it hilarious that he did a complete 180 from his former view on TikTok, and now he's all for it.
So who wants to advocate for the ban, and who wants to continue to allow it to function as it does?
You know, when we talk about TikTok, we talk about it, you know, some people say it's corrupting the minds of young people with mindless entertainment. Of course, there's the claims that it's a Trojan horse stealing data. But I do want to ask you, a possible ban on TikTok, is it linked in your mind to some of the other curbs between the U.S. and China, things like chips and EVs?
Yeah, I mean, broadly speaking, the issue is information dissemination, big data, and what China does with it, and versus what the United States entities do with it. Big data is mainly held by U.S. companies here. Big data is held by the Chinese Communist Party and the Chinese entities there for different purposes. So it is a matter of competition, especially the AI space, and how we are seeing the way China acts in terms of the technologies and the data that they get from U.S. companies and U.S. persons.
All right. There's videos on this all over. I'm not gonna go look up any more videos, but there's tons of this. I'm just so interested and invested in this whole thing. And I'm gonna tell you right now what I think is gonna happen. All right. I'm gonna tell you right now what I think is gonna happen. I think that going forward, in 6 months' time, either ByteDance is going to play ball, or they're going to take their ball and go home. Because that's the only option that they have. America is saying, listen, you can either sell this shit right now and go home with something, or you can get pushed off the court and leave with nothing. Which one would you rather do? Which scenario would you rather play out? Right? That's what they're offering. And here's what I think is going to happen. In the case that TikTok is actually banned, and we are no longer able to access it as Americans through various platforms, Google Play, the Apple Store, etc., right? Somebody else is just going to come on. It's just going to create a lane for somebody else. Somebody's going to come along with TikTok or TokTik or whatever it is, but it's just going to open up a lane for somebody else. So if one of y'all out there, okay, are an app creator and y'all want to link with me on some ideas, hit my inbox so we can get this money, man. No, but seriously, listen, it's just going to open up a lane for somebody else to create another platform and then use TikTok's platform and use their model to create another successful multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar app. Because the model was already proven, right? The work is already done. TikTok has already proven its success. TikTok is an app like none other. They were able to come along, create something that's outside of the realm of Instagram, create something that is totally different from Facebook, create something that works completely different than Twitter. They were able to come along and create a space that no one was in, a lane that no one was in, take that lane and be at the top of it. And now they have the model. They have given the model to everyone else. They've given the play to everybody else. That's all that's going to happen. In one form or another, TikTok will always be here. I promise you that. And that's exactly what I think is going to happen going forward. I think somebody's going to buy it out. I think somebody's going to offer up some money. Somebody, maybe a U.S., maybe a conglomerate of people, wealthy people, is going to offer up a bag to go ahead and buy them out. I think that's what's going to happen. But I am so invested in this, y'all. This is so very interesting to me. And I want to know what y'all think about this. Let me know in the comments down below what you all think about this ban. Again, live today, it has passed, okay? And it's going to the Senate next for the final verdict. But I believe this is going all the way. I believe this is going all the way. Ain't no stopping it now, because the U.S. wants to send a clear message to China that you don't run this. We run this. And it's get down or lay down time. It's bully ball time. Y'all let me know what y'all think, and I'll see y'all in the next video later.